I hope you had a great weekend. Well, for the longest time, most of us have been doing intermittent fasting, and some of us have even tried dry fasting. And today I thought we should do a refresher on the same. There are a couple of points that we need to go over, and a quick do's and don'ts when it comes to intermittent and dry fasting. Number one, let's start with the positives. So as you know, we have hundreds of thousands of people across the world who have done challenges on intermittent fasting and dry fasting. And the number one thing that I want to say about this is not a fad diet, and we should not be making it into a fad diet. It is a way of living. It is a lifestyle change. You don't have to do 18 hours, you don't have to do 24 hours, you don't have to do 16 hours, you don't have to do it every day of the week, and it doesn't have to suit everyone. Every one of us, each individual is completely unique in nature. It may suit some people, it may not suit some people. It may cause extreme harm to some people when it's disrespected, abused, and done the wrong way. Whereas it can have extreme healing powers for those people who it suits and those people who would do it the right way. So let's start off with the positives. We've got more than hundreds of type 2 diabetic patients who have started intermittent fasting under supervision. Because of fluctuating sugar levels, you want to be careful you don't do this on your own. You take the help of your professional, or if you're doing it on your own, you strictly keep observing your sugar levels to make sure you don't go into hypo or your sugar levels don't go up too high. So we've had people who have reversed their type 2 diabetes. Yes, I said it, reversed their type 2 diabetes. And the beauty is I can say this with so much of conviction because there's no pill to sell, there's nothing to sell. Intermittent fasting and dry fasting is inexpensive. It is absolutely free. It has existed in civilizations across the world, and every religion talks about intermittent, talks about dry fasting. So there's nothing to sell, there's no product, there's no pill. That's why we can say it with conviction that yes, it has reversed type 2 diabetes, and it is currently in the process of reversing and changing the fluctuating sugar levels of people across the world. When it comes to people with arthritis, we've been amazed at the amount of testimonials coming in where people who had arthritic pains for 5 to 10 to 15 years have clearly said how dry fasting and intermittent fasting has reduced their pains. And this is not a surprise because dry fasting and intermittent fasting has the power to reduce inflammation. And chronic inflammation is what causes chronic pain. So you see, this is not a magic diet. It works on the principle of science. It is doing something magical in your body when it's done the right way. People with back pain, people with elbow pain, people with cervical pain, people with ligament inflammation, and knee pain and all of that stuff have reported that inflammation and pain has reduced when they've mastered the art of fasting the right way. We have people with weight loss, although I always tell people intention is everything. If you don't have the right intention behind what you do in life, you will not achieve what you want. Do not use intermittent fasting and dry fasting as your fad way of losing weight. It will not work for you. But the people who have done it the right way will tell you how they've beautifully lost weight, fat, not weight, not water weight, not muscle mass, not bone density, how they burnt fat by doing fasting the right way. So yes, it can help you indirectly to lose that weight. People have reported a glow in their skin, how their skin is glowing, how their friends and family are saying, hey, what are you doing? What cream are you using? But they're not doing anything. They're just fasting. Because when you fast the right way, you clean out toxins from your body, which means you have a cleaner body. And when you have a cleaner body and your arteries are working the right way, you have the right kind of blood flow that goes between the capillaries beneath your face, you have that natural glow. People have spoken about how their sleep has improved, the quality of their sleep when they intermittent and dry fast. People have spoken about their energy levels. That's something that gets most people addicted to fasting. The increase in energy levels. Of course, you're not going to see that in the first 1 or 2 days. Give it the third day for you to feel the unimaginable amount of energy trillions of your cells vibrate with. And when you move into a fasting phase, your energy only improves more and more. People's cravings have disappeared. There are people who would wake up to coffee every single morning, and today they don't even crave coffee. They don't crave tea anymore. Their sugar cravings have cut. They don't crave junk and processed food anymore. They have it in moderation whenever they feel like. And the best part of it is intermittent and dry fasting has balanced the appetite of people. People who used to overeat find that their appetites have become much, much smaller right now. So that's the positives of it all. Now let's go into intermittent and dry fasting and how we need to do it the right way. Number one, Observe a fixed cycle as far as possible. If you're starting your fasting by 7 o'clock every evening, try to keep it by all means at 7 o'clock every day. Maximum 7, 7:30 or 8. Don't do one day at 7, the next day at 11 at night, the next day at 2 in the morning, the next day at 5 in the evening. Because you see, our bodies work according to a biological clock. It's called a rhythm. Nature follows a rhythm. So does our body. So if we keep changing the intermittent fasting cycles, our body doesn't identify or have the memory of what time we actually start to fast. So then it becomes very similar to what most people say. Isn't fasting keeping long gaps between meals? We know that keeping long gaps between meals, missing your lunch, missing your dinner, and keeping those long gaps isn't good for your health, and you will get highly acidic. But when your body recognizes that, okay, this is the time he fasts or she fasts, and this is the time he or she breaks it, it identifies that as your fasting period, and you will no longer get acidic. So try not to change the cycles of your start time and your end time as far as possible. If it's going to happen that way, just don't fast, because then you will tend to get acidic and you will tend to slow down the metabolism of your body. 12 hours, 14 hours, 16 hours, or 18 hours, do not make it a fad. Try to get a minimum of 12 hours. Most people who are already fit and already clean inside will find out that 12 to 13 hours is just the perfect amount of time for fasting. Some people may need 16, some people may need 18. Just because all of your friends are doing the 16 window or the 18-hour window doesn't mean you have to do that. Everyone is unique and everyone is different. In fact, most of the best results that I'm seeing from people who write in are people who are doing a disciplined cycle of 12 hours, 13 hours at the same time every day. There's no point doing 18 hours one day and then pushing it to 24 and then pushing the body to 36 and then bringing it back down to 16. No, this is not a game. Intermittent and dry fasting, it's great for you. It should never become a fad. It can harm you if you do it the wrong way. Another question that most people ask, do I have to do it every day? Some people have made a lifestyle, but you do not have to do it every day. You can select one day in a week, you can select 2 days in a week, you can select 4 days in a month when you want to intermittent or dry fast, just as all our religions talk about it. There are certain times in the year where you will fast. It doesn't tell you that you have to do it every single day. If it works for you, go ahead and do it. If you're struggling with it, just select 1 or 2 days in a week that suits you. Listen to your body. If we're mindful, our body tells us whether we need it for 1 day a week, 2 days, 3 days, 12 hours, 14 hours, or 16 hours. But if you're not mindful and you're looking left and right and trying to copy everyone around you, you don't end up living mindfully and the fasting doesn't work for your system. So please understand there are 2 phases of fasting, intermittent and dry fasting. It's your building phase and your fasting phase. In your fasting phase and intermittent fasting, you only have water. It is common sense to understand that you cannot have black coffee, you cannot have bulletproof coffee in a fasted state. If you're doing a keto diet or a low-carb diet, that may work for you. But if you're doing intermittent fasting and dry fasting, common sense, coffee and tea is highly acidic. Will you put acid in a body that is clean and a body that is fasting? You will only start inflaming your mucosal linings, creating more acidity over time and messing up your system. These are the things that harm you, that harm your intermittent and dry fast. That's when it becomes a harm to your body. So do it the right way. Plain water, no lemon water, no green tea, none of that. Plain water, and if you're dry fasting, no water, no food. It's as simple as that. Don't try to make your fast easy. Do it the right way. Self-discipline. Some people think, oh, let me eat fruits in my fast, and they call it an intermittent fast. It is not an intermittent fast if you are doing fruits during your fast. So if you're fasting, set your mind, set your intention, add a little bit of self-discipline and do it the right way, or don't do it at all. Because if you do it the wrong way and you abuse it, your fast will harm you. Now, listen to your body like I said. What's also very important to understand is you will get headaches, you will get dull feelings, your energy level drops in the first 1 or 2 days. As the toxins come out of your system, it first needs to go into your blood to be detoxified out of your system. If it goes into your blood, you may get a headache, you may get a dull feeling. Push through. Self-discipline, commitment. Nothing in life comes easy. Nothing in life comes easy. And easy come, easy go. It's as simple as that. So the first 1 day of your fasting will be a little challenging. The second day will be a little bit better. The third day you'll realize, hey, I have the power and the ability to fast. That's why I always tell people, if you're fasting for the first time, try to get 3 days of fasting. Not whole days. Whether you fast for 12 hours, 13 hours, or 14 hours, do 3 whole days. So you get that self-realization that, hey, I can do it. This is easy for me. And then guess what? Once you have self-realization in life, you know you can do it whenever you want. If you've not done it for 3 days and you've struggled the first day, it always becomes something negative in your mind to do. You don't want to do it, you don't know if you can do it. Do it 3 days and you have that power to do it whenever you decide to do it in life. So 3 days is the start. The first day you may do just 12 hours, that's fine. The next day add another hour, make it 13 hours. The next day add another hour, 14 hours. Don't push your body. Listen to your body, respect your body, and treat your body with gentleness. The fifth point, what we need to understand is how you break your fast. You do not break it with coffee. You do not break it with a samosa. You do not break it with a cupcake. You break it with water. Okay, if you're dry fasting, if you're intermittent fasting, you can break it with fruit. You can break it with dates. You can sip a little more water, and in the next 30 minutes, you can start eating your normal meals. Now you've entered your building phase. The word building means building. It does not mean dieting. The biggest harm of intermittent and dry fasting is when people do this, and in the building phase, they try to diet. They try to restrict themselves. They try to cut down calories. Now, if your body sees this happening, it'll go into stress mode. It'll start producing cortisol because it's in the building phase. Your cells are screaming out for nutrition. But you are starving your body by restricting calories because you just think that, hey, let me cut down calories and I'll lose more weight. Wrong intention, you get the wrong results. Building phase means eat, but don't overeat. The beauty of dry fasting and intermittent fasting, in the building phase, you can really eat almost what you want. Of course, sensibly, you don't want to stuff yourself with junk and process. Give your cells all the raw material it needs to build, to boost itself, to do its repair work, to rejuvenate in the building phase, and that's what prepares you for the next cycle of fasting. If you've not prepared for the next cycle of fasting because you've abused the building phase, then your intermittent and dry fasting will become harmful for the human body. So mindfully listen and feed yourself during the building phase. You can have all of your meals that contain your grains, your meats, your proteins, your carbohydrates, your good carbohydrates, your good fats, your nuts, your seeds, your juices, whatever it is that you want to do, you want to fit it into your building phase. Now, a lot of people treat this as a fad. Some of them are pushing themselves to 24, 48, 6. I mean, if it's working for you, great, but everyone else doesn't have to do it. Remember, we don't have to use extremes with the human body. We don't have to punish our body with intermittent and dry fasting. It's not a punishment. It is not a punishment. When we treat our bodies by punishing it, we're only abusing our bodies, producing more cortisol, more stress, and psychologically depriving ourselves and affecting ourselves. And remember, all good health physically first starts in the mind, mentally and emotionally. So the question is, should I do it every day? It's up to you. Sometimes I do it twice a week. Sometimes I do it 5 times a week. Sometimes I do it once a week. I listen to my body and I do what my body tells me. Just because you're doing it 5 or 7 days a week doesn't mean you have to get more health benefits than someone doing it twice a week. It is up to you. Mindfully do it. Now, people with diabetes, thyroid, cancer, cardiovascular, let's understand something. Take accountability and responsibility for your health. If you're type 1 diabetic, type 2, you have fluctuating sugar levels, you know that if you fast, your sugar levels may fluctuate, go out of control, and harm you. So you take responsibility and you do it the right way. Use the help of your doctors. If your doctor say, oh, fasting is going to cause a problem, change your doctor. Find a doctor who will help you get better. It's as simple as that. If you're doing diabetes, the people who have reversed their type 2 diabetes have basically found out that perfect fasting period for them. When their levels fluctuated, they broke the fast. When their levels fell, they broke the fast. They respected their body, and they finally came up with that perfect fasting cycle, which in turn enabled them to reduce their sugar levels over time, their medicines, and get off their medicines completely. So do it the right way. I do not have a general answer for all the diabetics out there. How long can I do it? When should I take my meds? I'm sorry. Your body's unique. You're going to have to figure that out for yourself with professional help from your doctors or whoever you want to take help from. For people with thyroid, if you break your fast at 11 in the morning, you take your thyroid medication at 11 in the morning because that's the time you're starting your day. You break it at 12, you take your medication at 12. It's as simple as that. So try not to take medication in a fasting state because a lot of medication requires certain fats and food for absorption into the human body. So again, if you're on medications that don't allow you to fast, don't fast. Don't fast at this point. Work so much with your lifestyle and your doctor so that you can eventually get off your medications and then you can experience the beauty of fasting. But if you choose to do it, please do it the right way. Do it the right way so it does not cause damage to you. People with cancer, yes, no doubt. People entering chemotherapy, radiation in a fasted state have fabulous results, no side effects or minimum side effects. But again, do it with the supervision of a professional, because you don't want the fasting to harm you where you're losing weight and you're getting chemo into your system. You got to listen to your body. Simple logic and common sense. When the human body falls sick, the first thing the human body does is cuts appetite. Why does it cut appetite? It cuts appetite because it wants to use all that energy that it uses for digesting to heal us. So if your appetite is automatically cut during your disease or during your treatment, it doesn't make sense to force feed yourself, restart your digestive system and use all that energy that your body and your immune system is trying to use. So use your common sense. Okay, we do not use fasting to lose weight. We do not use fasting to deprive or to starve. Deprivation and starvation is different from fasting. Fasting is a science. Fasting has wisdom. Fasting is free, and that's why it irritates so many people across the world, because it's free and it takes away from their business of diet planning. So no disrespect to them, but no disrespect to fasting as well. If you use it the right way, it is going to heal you and it is going to change your life, because too many of us are eating more food than required. We're overeating, we're eating snacks every 2 hours. This is unnatural to us. This is not natural. Very few people need to eat every 2 hours. The rest of us, we're just overeating and never giving our digestive system a break. People with cardiovascular disease, all I can say, it's going to reduce your inflammation, and the number one root cause of cardiovascular disease is not cholesterol, it is inflammation. And the beauty of dry fasting and intermittent fasting, medically and scientifically proven, is the reduction of inflammation in the human body. And most diseases that we have today are inflammatory. Diabetes, inflammatory disease. Cardiovascular, inflammatory disease. Cancer, inflammatory disease. Back pain, inflammatory condition. So the root cause is inflammation. We can use fasting the right way to reduce inflammation in the human body. And that is how simple it is. Now, if you're going to start off fasting for the first time, respect yourself. Prepare yourself mentally. Everything is with intention. Someone may be watching this video right now where no medicines are working anymore. You're in this constant pain throughout your life. No, everyone's given up on you. You've given up on yourself and your body. If you can master fasting, I can promise you there will be a difference in your health. Now, why? Why am I saying this with so much of conviction? Because most of us have forgotten the intelligence of the human body, that our bodies are designed to heal us. This doesn't mean we don't need doctors. It doesn't mean we don't need pills and chemo and radiation. No, this is beyond medicine, where we start trusting our bodies to heal us. Fasting is not an alternative for your chemo or radiation, your doctor, or your pills, but it can eventually become a great replacement when it's done the right way and your doctor says, hey, you don't need medicine anymore, you don't need treatments anymore. Lead to that. This is not alternative. This is not about choosing. This is about integrating fasting in your life. As we age, there are a lot of senior citizens who watch this video right now. As you age, if you want to age gracefully, if you want your pains to come down, eat less. Don't starve yourself, but eat less. Slowly get into a fasting period, into a fasting cycle like your parents and your ancestors. The simplest way is stop eating at 7 o'clock, no matter what. That is your discipline, that is your rule. Stop eating by 7 o'clock. Your next breakfast is automatically going to be at 7 or 9, which means you already have a fasting cycle of 12 to 14 hours. Take it one day at a time. Remember, it's your mind that will be the biggest obstacle, that will tell you, no, I can't do it, I can't do it, I can't do it. Self-discipline, commitment, and dedication. Now, like I said, sometimes fasting doesn't suit certain bodies, so don't do it. If you're that body that requires breakfast, if you need that constant food, that energy happening in your system, please follow that path. That is the path that is right for your body. And if fasting is working for you, you've done 3 days and you realize this amazing change in your body, then you can reap the benefits of fasting, something that comes natural to human beings. And we have to understand one thing: no company in the world, no startup in the world is going to put money in studying something that is given to us free by nature. Because you cannot make money out of fasting. You cannot make money out of pranayama. You cannot make money out of sleeping well at night. You cannot make money out of moving more and exercising. And these are the magic drugs beyond medicine that the world so badly needs right now to prevent disease and heal us. So use it. Just because it's free, it's all the more that we have to use it more and more. The world has enough of complication. We need to move more to simplicity. Simple things, simple common sense. That in a fasted state, my body can heal. There's a Nobel Prize winner. What's happening with his research? He won a Nobel Prize for talking about cells and how cells deprived of food the right way can heal us and reduce inflammation. But all of that's not being shared. A Nobel Prize winner and his research is not being shared. Why? Because it will challenge every food company, every pharmaceutical, every practice. On and using your own common sense to realize that we have the tools to enable the intelligence, the innate intelligence in the human body. Have a great day, everyone.